Hey everyone, what's going on? Eyal here, and I have a special guest with me, Lior Ozeri. Oh, who is muted because of me? Because I
Maybe I am muted.
yes, but
Am I?
this was my fault this time.
Oh, okay, I'm used to being muted as a bass player. This is usually my sound in front of house.
And even if you're not muted, who can tell that it's actually
Yeah,
bass?
exactly. It's a conundrum. It's like Schrodinger's cat.
Um, yeah. So for those who don't know Lior Ozeri is probably one of the most accomplished, musicians and bass players
Oh,
in Israel right now. Like probably, I feel like if I don't know if it's still true. You can tell me if it's still true, but I always feel that if I randomly point my finger at a calendar date, there is a gig with you playing in it, in some
uh,
big place somewhere in the country.
I hope you're not wrong. Also, mainly because my bank manager is forcing me to keep on working.
Is he a fan of bass playing?
No, he's a fan of money.
Fan of money? I
Yeah.
see. Let's see if I can remove the starting soon thingy. Here it is. It's gone. Okay. Yeah. So I've known Lior for quite a lot of years. We kind of grew up in the same scene. Uh, and we recorded or worked together a few times in multiple variations.
Yeah.
Most recently was that I mixed a piece that Lior wrote with Guy Mazig on the new Guy Mazig album, and also in your album, right?
Yes. Future album. Yes.
Future album.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
So you should look it up. It's called Braving Through. It's quite a masterpiece, if you ask me. But you've also played in many multiple, progressive rock albums and all kinds of different recordings. Even like pop recordings and jazz recordings.
Yeah, basically I want to be everywhere all the time. That's my main goal. I want to be as viral as that disease we used to have like 4 years ago. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, everywhere, anywhere and everywhere all at once. Was that the name?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I want my nickname to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Well, very soon you will be able to do that. Apparently,
Yes.
Apparently, the tech is about to achieve your dream or something,
Yeah.
right? Or it claims to achieve your dream. And we're
Yeah.
and I thought this was going to be a really interesting conversation, because one of the things that people who watch my channel recently, they know that I'm doing a lot of coding for plugins and music tech things. And one of the things that started to happen the last few months is that last year, I want to say, is that people started hiring me, just like everyone else in the world, to do AI related things.
Mm-hmm.
And one project that I got hired to take a little part on is this thing we're going to talk about today, which is an AI generated music app, but it has a specific twist on this concept. So we're going to explore that a little bit. And the reason why I have Lior on, other than the fact that he's an amazing musician, and we can probably will talk quite a bit about the musical side, which I think is going to be the most interesting here, is that Lior was actually involved with this product because the concept for this app, this Aiode app, which we're going to explore in a bit, is that they have this concept of ethical AI, which means that they actually hired really amazing musicians like Lior to let's call it sample or train the model on, so that the model is kind of like a representative of decisions that he would have made in that situation, which also leads to very interesting musical results, because it's not just trained on all the jazz musicians in the world or whatever. It's trained on this specific person and this specific personality, but also it's interesting from some people say from like a copyright or monetary or whatever point of view, where the musician is now treated as a legitimate source where you kind of get compensated for and get acknowledged as a part of the process. So there's a lot going on with how this tech is built, not just how the tech is used.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Am I being accurate so far?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, the whole thing is that you get a character. It's not that you have, okay, I want bass track for this piece of music that I wrote, and then you get some AI generated whatever. The thing with Aiode, I don't work for the company. They just hired me to train the AI model for my bass playing. They did the same with drummer, with an electric kit drummer, guitar player, and synth bass and trumpet. I think so far I think that's what they have on the platform. But the idea is that eventually, in a couple of years down the road, you'll have a bunch of other players. So right now I'm the only bass player there, which is great for me right now. But eventually you'll have the possibility of choosing the bass player that you want. So let's say you like my style, so you'll choose my profile. But let's just say, okay, so you tried a bit certain things with certain settings, and you think you might get a different or better or more suited bass part for your piece. So you can take a different bass player who is known for whatever, different kind of style, different kind of playing, time, feel, sound, technique. The thing is, you want to get the AI as personalized as possible, and not just a generic, okay, this was trained on all bass parts ever in all of music catalogs, and then you'll just get whatever. You're getting a specific person to play, hopefully to play what you want to hear.
Yes, exactly. And the premise of this is interesting, and I actually have so many opinions about this, even having worked on this, and things that are kind of like that in the space that are pertaining to do that thing. I feel like it leads to a lot of interesting questions for the musical side.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually wanna open this up a little bit, but maybe I'll show a few things, and maybe then we can break down more of the both the technical and the philosophical aspects of what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we can do a screen share here. Is the screen working? Is that happening? Okay. So this is basically what the app looks like. To give some context, up until a few days ago, this app was just a web app only, and now there's this installable app that you can install. That was the part that I wrote, and we're probably going to talk a little bit about it. But I wrote this whole little standalone wrapper around it. But the idea is, and I'm literally going to do something right now. So I'm going to import. I a few minutes before the stream, I played like a few chords on piano, and we'll see what happens. So I just had I just played a few just a chord sequence that I invented on the spot. Can you hear this? Is it going through?
Yes. Yeah.
And I was just trying to jam to a click, just because I felt like it's going to make the software easier to understand the structure of what I'm doing. Yeah. So I just picked a click of 120 BPM with no guide track, and I just invented a chord sequence.
Yeah.
And I'm going to create a project. It's going to import my thing. It's going to import my project. Good. Okay. So it plays it in the software, right? Basically like a DAW-like doll-like sequence, and then I can choose add musician. There's a button add musician on top, and I pick add musician, and here it is. Right here's Lior Ozeri. You have a logo, a specific logo to you, by the way.
Choose me, please. Choose me.
I love that you have flowers in your logo.
Yeah, that's definitely in my personality. Just screams flowers.
And you have all these like tags, electric bass guitar, fretless bass. I love that fretless bass is now a thing, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it back. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll add a few words. If you can see next to the profile that you can see which instruments I play and what are my kind of main characteristics genre-wise. So we sat down and we chose like certain stuff that my sound or my phrases or my accompaniment leans towards. So you can see I do like a fusion, pop, funk, rock, Latin. So I was really going for a very broad scale of genres, because that's also what I do every day. That's my thing. I might find myself playing like a Latin gig, and day after like Middle Eastern or Arabic influences, and the day after just mainstream pop, and that's also the thing that I think is my biggest skill, being sort of a chameleon, changing myself between styles. And that was a lot of fun doing that in real time, like having one session which could be a classical piece played in a metal arrangement, and then after that like a trip hop song, and then just straight ahead funk tune. It was really cool.
Amazing. And I actually want to ask you more about that, about the session, about how the sessions look like, because I think it's kind of fascinating. Even having done myself like sampling sessions, I think this is kind of different. So this is
it is definitely.
So it's pretty interesting. Okay, so what I'm just gonna go through like the process. So when I'm going to your thing and I click plus, right, I'm suddenly adding you to the composition, right? So now if I'm going to zoom here, it's almost like I have a track of you. And then I'm just going to select this like little piece. And then when I select a piece, I can pick like a style. And there are some other tags that you can pick, but let's pick rhythm. Something, and then I can just generate. By the way, people watching this, they're that the service is a paid service, but if you look at the description, there's a free 2-month you get with a coupon for me if you want that. So we can try that for free and not pay until you decide that you like it or not like it. Okay.
You can still pay me directly.
Still direct, like
even if it's
Bitcoin
free. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's see what this thing did. Just like we both of us have no idea what this thing is going to do.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, so this is interesting. I think that sometimes it gets confused if the song doesn't start right on the first beat.
On the first bar, yeah.
So I'm going to change this a little bit just for the sake of this beta. And I'm going to...
Yeah, I think that you need to let him know when you also don't want it to play. Like you can have like either add a break or just not stretch. Yeah, exactly. Not stretch over the parts where you don't want it to play.
Exactly. So let's see what happens if we're starting from the second bar, which is where I'm starting to play, because I took 1 bar of count off. So let's try it again. Pick rhythm. Generate. Did you actually record with this distortion, by the way, or was this recorded DI?
So yeah, if you go into the settings of the player, where you have all the
Oh, not here.
no,
It's,
this is a mixer.
It's this.
Yes, exactly. So you can see that you have a few options. This is something that is unique for every player. So for me, we chose the option to have a couple of basses, actually three basses. You have a jazz bass, precision bass, and a fretless bass. So you can choose for me, for virtual me, what you want me to play, or you can leave me the option to choose by what AI me thinks is best suited for your piece, which was actually some of the choices that I had to do in real time. We can talk about this later on. So you can see, other than basses, you can have the articulation or technique that you want me to use or not use, and in the processing you can choose either DI, distortion, or octaver. So yeah, I did record some of the things with distortion, but there was always a DI part. I think you can, even if you're generating something with the distortion, you can still have the clean DI, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see what we did now. So I asked it for just fingers and just and no distortion. Let's see what happens. Is it still that distorted? Why was it still that I still hear the drive. Did I maybe
Yeah.
I didn't generate the one with the new drive? Let's see what I did. Edit performance. Oh, have an octaver in there. Still have less drive, right?
No, yeah, no drive.
Yeah, and I think I need to regenerate a take if I'm changing that effect. I think. See, I got this correctly.
Yeah. Also, I think since it's still in beta mode, then it's probably gonna be a little bit quirky. So maybe that's part of it. But I don't know. I don't know where it stands exactly.
Let's see. Let's hear it in solo for a second. Okay, let's. I want to hear you. What do you think? Is this what you would have played in this situation?
So not necessarily. I think that because it's only keyboard, there's a lot more choices to be made.
Mm-hmm.
So it hears the harmony, although I might have stayed. For example, you're playing C and then B flat over C, and you're playing with these inversions. So I would listen to this and I would probably stay on that C. And AI me goes to B flat, so he's playing all the changes.
Yes.
Which in a piece like that, which goes a little bit towards the, let's say, I don't know, like R&B or neo soul kind of vibe. Chord wise, like Steely Dan stuff. Then I would approach the harmony the same way. I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this specific choice that you just said. Let's see if I can move my my camera a little bit back. So what you said is, let's get out my keyboard. Okay, so what you said was, this is interesting. I don't know if you have your bass here, but this was going to be super interesting to discuss, right? Because you said that right at the top, I started with this or something, and then I did this, right? This it's like a B flat over C, and you immediately notice by hearing this, which is awesome, right? You're like, oh, there is a pedal chord here, right? And can you show, like, for example, what kind of a choice would you have done if this? So, for example, I would stay, you can hear the bass, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I would just, so I'll play the C note. I might, for example, you could choose like a harmony or stuff like that. So then I'll on the options in the AI, so I might do, and then go to the F.
You go
But
to the F,
if
right?
if I'm accompanying, then, for example, just playing over the C major, and come up with something that is related to the vibe that I'm hearing. So maybe, so still thinking about a C as my root note, just hearing the B flat sound on top of it, like the sus, sort of a sus chord.
Exactly. Exactly. And I find it so interesting that you said it because, let's see if I can rearrange this little thing here. I find it so interesting that you said it because I think that this is, no, I feel like such an interesting element in the world of choices, right? I feel like it's something that
Yeah.
is very underappreciated where, when you're playing with a group, you're like, okay, I need to play the bass so that the chord will ring a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because you can say, well, I'm following the lowest note of the piano or something.
Yeah.
But that actually is actually not always true. Like I might literally be playing, but you can actually make the choice to go to, right?
Yeah.
To stay on that pedal and basically remodify the entire harmony because you have the power
Yeah.
to make that choice, and that is such a big choice in music, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
exactly, and that comes back to what I said before, that if you get a bass player who listens or grew up or trained himself over other kinds of genres and music, he might be hearing it differently, which is fine. That's actually the cool part about this, because you might get the same track, but you can hear it a different way if you were trained on jazz, on R&B, or on funk, or metal, or house music, whatever. So each player would approach the music in a different way, and that was actually, if you want, I don't know if you want to go into it right now, but that's actually was part of the training. It was one of my questions when I started training the AI model, because I was playing on bassless tracks and without charts. So what I trained the model was to hear harmony the way I do and the way I approach it. So if I'm choosing to hear everything on a pedal, that's the way it's gonna react later on. And if I'm choosing to play every root note for every chord, that's the way it's gonna react. And that was very interesting, on my side, making the choices as much appropriate to the situation.
Yeah, right. Because I feel like the choices, I always say that if you're a musician, right, people kind of think that. I remember having that discussion, even go back, 10 years ago, when you had, a sampler that does something, right, a sampled musician doing something, or like a splice sample, which is like a full-on pattern that somebody played. And I feel like what makes a musician is actually not the recorded sound; it's the choices that you make in context, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Because if people think that a musician is, that discussion happens a lot now in AI, in the AI space, because now you can have the AI generate a result for you, like a musical result. But what
Yeah.
it cannot generate is taste,
Yeah.
right?
Aesthetics.
Because like, just like you just noticed with Lior, when he heard what I'm playing, he had a few choices that he would have made kind of pop up instantly. It's not random, it's deliberate. Like if I had put you in a musical session with those chords, you would have a few very well established selections that you would go for, and you can play differently around those selections, but you would always keep the tasteful selections that make sense, right? You would not go for like a wrong chord. This is not a possible selection. Hopefully, right? So that is something that in the training of the AI is something that you had to discuss or just perform.
So yeah, I asked them what do you want me to do? I mean, because you'll have, for example, a lot of the tracks that I would record on wouldn't have harmony at all. And I asked them what do you want me to do, and they're like, do what you think is most appropriate, do what you think Lior would have done on this track. And it took me solid 2 weeks to realize what they're actually asking from me. And then once I understood the mission, the assignment, I went for it, and it was really fun. It really made me think, be extra aware of what worlds I'm at, music wise and genre wise, and what's the appropriate thing to do. Because I might have played like on a blues track and on a jazz track, and both tracks seemingly come from the same world, but the way the bass works in both of them is completely different. Or a lot of salsa and Latin music, and I had to bring all of my knowledge of how to play this in the most appropriate way.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I want to go back to this thing that we just generated, even though I probably need to generate things with more. But what would be cool is we can try one of their, like they have some built-in tracks that we might even use for the sake of this. Let's go back to my little screen here. So let's see if we can set the screen some other way. Here you go. Okay. Or we can even do this. All right. Okay. So what I'm want to see what I did. Oh, there's like a, is there like a B part that I played here? Did I ever? No, there's no B part. I just played something very boring. I want to see if we can make a new project. Instead of my music, I want to pick one of the demo songs that they have there. So let's pick Ash and Iron. Okay, so let's see what the this is what their like supplied backing track sound like. Okay, so I have two backing tracks here, right? One is Idon Namel being the beat maker, and the other is you. You come as a part of the preset of this. So I'm just going to generate these two parts. I don't know what they have in the settings, so we're gonna check that in a second. Let's have that generated. I feel like now in the world of AI, a lot of the things we do is just like waiting for an AI to do something.
Yeah. So we need AI to entertain us
while
we're waiting for the AI to generate everything else.
I feel that's how I feel.
You know what? I think I should. I'll suggest them to build in like small games that you can play while you're waiting for the generating to be done.
I think that'll be unbelievable. By the way, Nadav Shapira is asking if the app comes with an AI Ozeri bass lines and jokes annotated in the charts.
That's actually I wanted them to write in the bio. They asked me what do you want us to write, and I wanted to write get the best of the bass playing without the nonsense. I think that's the best selling point ever.
Okay, so there's I was told, this is something that I was told about a very famous artist in Israel who's not he's a player, but he's not like a player.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, that artist is like a jokester.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he's a very good jokester. Like he's really funny. Like he knows how to tell good jokes. But people that work with him, and it's not me, they said that, at some point, it's too many jokes. Like you gotta have a way to reduce the jokes fader. That's the fader.
But it's a problem because once you know how to do that, you can control it.
Exactly.
It's a big problem. I know all about it, unfortunately.
Okay. So let's see what we got here and see if we can talk about this. Okay, by the way, this last part is so interesting to me because I feel like the chords could have been many, many different chords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right when the beat stops, and it made quite a lot of choices here. Which I don't know if are the choices that like would you have made these choices?
That's interesting. I might have.
You might have.
I can tell you that just by listening to it, once the beat stops, then you can see that the bass is not playing the whole time. There are small breaks of breaths, and that's something that I use a lot, playing with note lengths and rests, and that's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that it's doing that decision, because the guitar playing is going on the whole way. There's no break in the wave of the guitar playing. So that's a choice that he made, which I might have made as well.
Is that something that you did in the modeling recordings?
Yeah,
like just
absolutely.
play let's call it spaced?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I consider is a part of my playing. I put a lot of attention over dynamics and note lengths. I really like it. I really like playing. For example, I could play even if I play something very simple like. So it will always be a dotted quarter note, eighth note, and quarter note or a half note, whatever. But if I'm playing it this way, and if I'm playing it this way, it's different. It's another world. And if I'm playing it with the breaks, with the rests, you can really hear the beat. You can hear the pulse almost. Even if I'm not playing it, but you know where it is because I'm emphasizing the rests. That's how I like to call it. Emphasize the rest, like accenting the rests where the notes are not played.
Yes, and the interesting thing about this generated part that I noticed. I mean, first of all, I'm going to mute the your part for just a second. I mean, I feel like it's very up for interpretation, the fact that there are actually two chords on every one of these, right? Like this could have been one chord.
Absolutely.
Of this, right? Like you could have said that the harmonic progression is. Like this could have been just I mean the guitar part could have stayed, but you could have stayed on the same chord.
I could play just like a D underneath it. He's playing like A, D, and then he's playing a different thing. But that's the thing, because like what you said beforehand, the chords might be there might be just two chords, just A and D, but once the bass plays a B underneath that D, instead of getting that D major, you're getting a B minor.
Yeah.
And that's the power of the bass. This and paying the bills. Not all of them though.
No, but I think it's interesting. The reason why I find it interesting because in the world of generation, software that generates stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have an opinion on this. Like when I click a button and I get new music, I immediately think about these things. Like, is this supposed to be new chords? Would it be prettier? Like I say, is the space what I wanted here, or maybe would I have wanted the bass to play like a fretless bass line, like high notes even, and not even expose the fact that there are chords here?
Yeah.
Right, because that's something that happens often. Is that like let's say, or whatever. Let's say I'm holding, I'm playing some 2 chords on the guitar, and maybe I'm playing something like I'm not going to play what it has in the track, but let's say I do something like this, like let's say I do right. It's possible that what I actually want, like I could expose that it's let's switch to my piano sound for a second. Or D and a C, or D over C. Like maybe I don't even want to expose the big sound of the chords. Like maybe what I want is actually like a softer, and maybe I want the bass to do like a
melody,
or maybe I want the bass to just be, and they have like an overtone of just a big A open here, not even a melody, just a. Right, this thing like an just give like a nice pingy A to sustain here, right? Like I feel like even the choice of saying this is going to be like something that holds a groove, is a very interesting arrangement choice. When it's and I feel like it's when you listen to this, I feel like there's so many choices that I want to respond to. Right, that's how I'm feeling about music. When I hear somebody playing something, I'm like, okay, well, like this creates this sound. Like if the beat enters here, I'm responding a certain way. If the beat is spaced out and half time, I would respond a different way. Maybe there isn't a beat. Maybe the singer is singing on top of this. Only it's the acoustic section of the. I feel like there's so many kind of encapsulated decisions that happen here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it all happens simultaneously, and everything has something to do with the other. Because even if the harmony goes in a certain way, if the drums are doing a different thing, I might put the focus on what they're doing. I mean, in certain genres, the drums and the bass are more important to go together than the bass and the harmony. I mean, if we're playing like a rock and roll and the guitar player is doing like a bunch of stuff, maybe I'll just choose one note, but to go with whatever beat the drums are playing.
Yeah, exactly, and I want to generate something else just to get your your input on this. So I'm just going to I want to ask you to do something else, right? So just for the sake of this, I'm gonna let me remove this like drum part, and I want to let's have it generate something, and I want to pick a melody. I want to see what it's going to do if it's asked to do a melody.
So there is another cool thing. I don't know if it's working yet, but in the settings, we gave an option to the virtual me to have a hook button, is what we called it, where if you click it, then I have to come up with the hook for the song, which I really effed myself up with this, because he would give me a lot of hooks to do in an impossible situation, and I would have to break I would go nuts trying to come up with a hook within a groove or within a melody or within a solo in an ambient situation, but it should be fun. I don't know if it's working yet.
So let's see if it's working. So let's go here and go to the edit performance. Let's remove this distortion
big
stuff. And let's say they want to pick. Yeah. So is it on now? I think it's on.
Oh, so it's I think also.
Oh, I have 3 colors. I think yellow is the active one. I think. Let's see if I'm.
Oh, okay. I think probably purple says that I can choose if I want to make the hook, and maybe yellow forces me.
Yeah. So let's force you.
right?
That,
Yeah,
right?
let's
Because
force
that's how bass sessions go. We force the bass player to do things.
Exactly. I don't want to do this. I wanna be an accountant, but you're forcing me to play bass. But my true passion is being an accountant.
Yes, one of the things I remember in the in the Space Jam movies, that there's like a theoretical scene where they're like what it was going to look like when Michael Jordan is enslaved by the Monstars, and
Yeah.
he's just forced to, he's kind of cuffed in chains, and he has to like dunk the basketball all day, like
Which, by the way, chaining a black person is not very good image for a kids
no,
movie.
but that's what it is. He's a cartoon black person,
Oh,
but
okay. I mean, I'm not sure it's better, but yeah.
yes, but that's what they did. I'm not going
just
to.
saying, yeah, some things have not grown old in the best of
No,
ways.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that's what you just said made me think about. Like, hey, let's.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if what's this gonna do with the hook feature. Okay.
Is it still
So-
generating?
No, I was just checking that everything
Oh, okay.
works.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it did that. It might have not taken my things into
It doesn't
consideration.
sound like a melody.
Maybe is it not applying this? Let's see. Oh, maybe I first need to do edit region or something, right? Do I need to click something here? Let's see.
Yeah, so you can change the spectrum of the complexity and dynamics and fields and stuff like that with the knobs. So maybe we can try force on it. Force it.
Force it. Let's see.
To do it.
Yeah, because I just changed a few things. It should be regenerating, right? So interesting, just like you said, about how much we're in need of an entertainment aspect.
Yeah.
Of the way I feel like it's such a in the old studio days, we would say that this is the role of like the assistant engineer. Like they would wait for these moments, that give you coffee, they'll tell bad jokes.
So maybe you do need an AI version of me to tell jokes in between generating.
with the nonsense. Or maybe just the nonsense as a separate component.
But yeah, I let them know. I don't think they're gonna pay for that though.
Looks like I might be in the queue. You see this? That's why you never show something in beta, because the queue might be locking me up. Maybe it noticed that I used too much of you in the generations, and they're like, there's a limit on how many Lior Ozeri tracks can live in the world.
It's AI fatigue,
Fatigue.
just like the real person.
Yeah, the real person.
Gives you bad vibes after a few generating.
I love that. It would be fun if there's also like a text thing of like with like comments on your track. I could have played better if you had this, and if you were more like Chris Cornell with your track. And
How about changing the song?
Let's try to. I'm gonna leave this and re-enter. So let's get out, reopen Aiode. Okay, and then I want to change this, change something here, and then go back here, generate. There might be a server issue here, but anyway, this is interesting because I find one of the things I find interesting when working on something like this is what is, oh, the server just came back up, so it looks like it's about to finish. The interesting thing that I'm feeling is like, what is the experience of the interaction you have with the machine, right? Let's see what it is now. Oh wait, is it because maybe I needed to add something from here? Change it from here. Is it going to change something? Can you take? One of the nice things is that they let you kind of select the previous takes you've already made.
Yeah, that's new.
What if I change it to solo? Let's see if I do solo. So what I'm saying is that the interesting thing about the way these things work is that you kind of have, I feel like a very reactive state of mind to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. Like, I know some people produce music like that. Like, I know some people who are, they'll sit with the player in the session and they'll be like, okay, can you do this? And then they will respond. Rick Rubin. And there's all these like producers who do that. They're very responsive to what's being played, right? Yeah. Like, they listen and they say, well, I like it, I don't like it, or whatever. But like, there are producers who are more like finely, or like hands-on.
Yeah.
In how they direct the musician.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm more like that, where I'll be like, I'll probably have my piano on and I'll try some notes, or maybe I'll give very technical directions, like this 8 notes, or play this, play these notes, play it faster. Like, I'll be more.
I think that today there are more producers of the Rick Rubin type than let's call it our type, because I mean, both you and I, we come from a playing an instrument kind of place. I'm exaggerating. I'm minimizing ours to this, but if you wanna play a bass line for someone to learn and record, you can do that note for note. And a lot of times you'll do that as well, because you have a certain vision. But I feel like a lot of producers today, who, especially in the last 10 years, working with things like Splice and a bunch of like samples and chords progressions from MIDI packs and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's better or worse, or if it's wrong or not. I'm just saying that it's something that I see a lot and a lot more than the other option these days. I think this is gonna be kind of revolutionary, because today if you go to Splice and you're looking for something, you're probably gonna find something that's somewhat like what you're looking for. But here you can actually adapt and change the settings to whatever you feel you want to hear. Like, I feel no, it's too busy. Okay, so you're taking the knob and you're turning the complexity down, or I need it loud all the way. I don't want the peaks. I want it like as loud as possible. So you take the knob of the dynamics and stuff like that. I think for it releases the need to know how to speak in theory or in harmony or whatever. You don't need to speak with, okay, I want here a 16th note feel. No, you want a busy feel, and you want it here, or you want it the complexity very very high, or you want the complexity very low, which would be like, oh, play quarter notes or play half notes
Right.
in terminology, musical terminology. And that's something that's not really happening in the past 10, 15 years, whatever, if you're working with a producer.
You're saying it was already happening.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go back to the like 70s, where the Wrecking Crew, like the guys from Toto. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, not the Wrecking Crew. The guys from Toto, Porcaro Brothers and Steve Lukather, the guys who came after the Wrecking Crew, they came into the studio and they didn't get any charts with a specific part. The producer would tell them, "I want something in this kind of style," and they would do the arrangement actually. I mean, I'm sure you saw all the documentaries and all the interviews and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even with Quincy, he would tell Steve, "Okay, I want this kind of a rock vibe. I want like some kind of a Eddie Van Halen part in this spot," and he would come up with the part.
Right, but I would say this is kind of different, even though maybe I'm being too romantic about those specific people that you just mentioned,
Hmm.
right? But I feel like, even though, like I haven't seen something like Quincy produce, but I've
Hmm.
seen some producers work, whether it's like by documentaries or by being in the room with them,
Yeah,
and I have seen that, right? I have seen people say, well. And I've probably did that as well. Like, hey, just play this more rocking, or play this
yeah,
more. Like, I would have these abstract
yeah,
concepts that you're trying to develop with a player. But usually, there was also another layer of that. It was more like, well, here are the chords that I'm using. Here are
yeah,
the kicks. Here are the parts that are like set in stone. And
yeah,
I would, but there's a limit to how I can express it further. So I would
yeah,
go to a player like, hey, can you play something funky? And I don't know exactly how to tell you
yeah,
how funky to do that. Like, because sometimes I would not know the intricacies of the instrument well
yeah.
enough for me to write my own part, but I would know the intricacies of my song,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
So that's my job to complete whatever you're not able to pinpoint in the base area for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my job to complete and be. I'm a tool for you. You can use me to get the result that you want to hear, but you don't know how to get to. Okay, and for example, if we're talking about a person like you who knows music, who knows harmony, who knows rhythm, you can explain exactly. I mean, if you can tell me exactly what the notes are, but if you want them to be funky, for example, maybe I know what's the extra part that I need to do. It might be a technique, it might be laying out, it might be playing some of the notes in a ghost notes, it might be an articulation thing that it's not that you don't know about it, but it's that you're not used to because if it's an instrument thing.
You know, Usually you're the person people go to, including me, to know what the notes are because you write the
Yeah,
charts for all the songs, all the other
yeah,
parts too.
exactly.
Right, right, and you're right about this. But uh, for me, I'm just wondering, like, what is, you know, like the part that I am always interested in is how do I feel like the piece that I made in collaboration with a real musician, right? Let's not even put AI to the as a concept. Let's say I'm bringing a real musician here. Like
Mhm.
I've seen sessions with musicians where a singer comes in and they just like, okay, I have these lyrics, and they sing something, and then they bring musicians and they say, just do whatever you want. And then
Mhm.
maybe they respond. Maybe they're like, okay, this is too much. This is too little. This is too busy.
Yeah,
But they have no idea of what it is that they want, right? And
yeah,
I've done sessions like this, right, where I
yeah,
basically composed the music, and I was given vague descriptions of what not to do or
yeah,
something, right? Uh, and I'm always interested as a creator in a world where this is a thing, right? Like, do you feel like you created something when you did this? You know, like
Uh,
because I feel like if I had done this, like if I
mhm.
had, brought in really good musicians, and I'd be like, okay, just make the song happen for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be like, okay, more, less,
yeah,
here, whatever. Uh, I feel like, I'm sure it would sound good because I've worked with musicians who just know to make this sound good, right? I feel like
yeah,
I was paid multiple times to do this for somebody else,
yeah,
right? Um, but I feel like when that happened, basically the other person, was actually the composer, and maybe I
yeah,
was like a collaborator,
yeah.
maybe, you
So
know?
so this is kind of a it's an interesting question because that's coming back to what I said earlier about Steve Lukather and all these interviews that I've seen. He's saying we were the arrangers. I mean, the musicians coming to the studio, we were the arrangers, but there was the producer who thought about bringing all these guys together and believing in them to come up with a part. So it's kind of a gray area. I mean, did I create it or did you create it, or does the idea of choosing me to create something says something about you as much as it says about the guy who wrote the part, who did the part, who arranged the part.
Right.
It
And we have collaborations, right? Let's say if we're
Yeah,
collaborating on something, I feel like that is like really, it really makes sense. That happened to me many times in my life. I would work with somebody like Olo Bianiker. We would each bring our own phrases, and the piece is a co-creation of both of us, right?
yeah,
I couldn't write this piece by myself.
hmm,
I think he couldn't have written this exact piece by himself. But when we go together, we collaborate and we write something, right?
yeah. It's a
That
dynamic. It's and it would sound differently than if you would bring the same part with a different person who might be a great musician as well, but it would sound different because you're starting to combine your DNA and a certain person DNA, and so you would get a different result.
Exactly. The interesting thing I'm finding with a lot of these pieces is the more I feel like you give control to the AI, the more I feel like it's not my piece. The more I feel
Hmm.
like it's somebody's taste basically took over.
Yeah,
Could be a real person as well.
yeah,
But and I'm like, okay, am I really feeling like because a lot of like great musical pieces were made where there was like a lyrics writer and a music writer, and they have
yeah,
like some or something like that.
yeah. The old
And
days where you had one person for every profession.
one person, exactly.
Yeah,
Um, and then maybe there's some bands where they kind of collaborated on some things, but still you can kind of trace the musical essence of most of the things to the one person,
hmm,
right? Like it's the George Martin did a lot of things in the Beatles songs, but if you listen to Paul McCartney playing the songs on acoustic guitar, you're
yeah.
like,
It
okay,
still
this
sounds like
is
the song.
it
Yeah,
sounds like the song, right? It's maybe it doesn't sound like the recording of the song.
yeah,
And maybe there's a few things that obviously are not never the same without the little orchestral
yeah,
bit George Martin put in. But I'm just saying, it feels very much like this musical composition. That's why
yeah,
when we talked about these choices that the AI just made with the chords, like, hey, I'm gonna pick the chords here,
yeah,
right? I feel like that's a very interesting decision that could be made as a part of an arrangement, but is also like if the more those decisions are coming in, the more I'm feeling like is this did I really make this decision
yeah.
using this? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's a gray area, and but honestly, I don't think that it's that different from what's going on these days anyhow. I mean, just like I said before, most producers I work with, they would give me a song. I won't say most because I work with really talented and knowledgeable people, but let's just say not once and not twice the producer couldn't even tell me the chord.
Right.
I mean, and it's fine. I mean, like you said, it's the school of Rick Rubin of not knowing but feeling, and it's fine. My job is to come in and listen to the music and hear what it needs, and that's actually that's the exact kind of work I did with training this AI because I didn't get any chart. No one told me what chords they want me to play. No one tell me anything. I'm actually the producer of my part, and while producing my part, I also produce some of the song to a certain extent. Because if I'm choosing, if the chord is D major and I'm playing a B beneath it, then the song is in B minor. And that's a decision that I made. So, it's a gray area, but I don't know. I think that eventually, I mean, if you want the AI to do everything for you, just use Suno. I mean, if that's not fun for me at least. But if that's what you want, you just want something to create a song for you. Great, do that. I think that the whole idea with generating specific instruments tracks with these kind of parameters that you can control is that you're making the choices. It's like I'm there with you in the studio and you're telling me, hey, I want you to use this kind of dynamics. I want you to use this amount of fills. I want you to use this guitar. I want you to use these techniques or this sound. So you're still making choices. Yeah, you can come and just press generate and use whatever the AI generates for you. Sure, you can do that. But I think that the real power behind this is that you can be a producer. Like you can choose how much you want me to use this kind of thing or the amount of this or whatever. You can compose with this tool.
Right. You definitely can. Like I just wonder, about like what are the things that you learn about the piece that you're writing when you're doing this? Because you are hearing, like it is very inspirational, right? Like you play this and you hear a new variation that you didn't think about. Pretty much the same as bringing a player in, right? You bring a player in, you hear this new variation. It's interesting to me. It's very interesting. Like I'm because I feel like there's a sense of how am I gonna phrase this? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old school where I feel like things have to be things have to feel like you made a lot of these choices, and like you're saying, I know it's not how some sessions look. I still remember. There was this video from like 15 years ago or something, 10 years ago, where it was like Rick Rubin producing, I think this was Jay-Z, like a rapper. And one of the amazing things I remember is that I was under the impression at the time that Rick Rubin comes in and he's producing the record. Like he is the person, like making these choices. But here's what actually happened. They had Rick Rubin, they had Jay-Z, and they had another producer. None of these guys was doing any of the beat stuff. What happened was they brought in these beat makers these guys who had, like a synthesizer, and they asked them like, hey, what do you have for me? And they're like, okay, this is the beat. They play the beat. Beat is a full on track.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, no, we don't like this one. Okay, next beat, play the song. Okay, we do like this one. Okay, they take this one. Maybe they do some extra production on it. It's like, so I didn't notice that was a thing. And that was the first time I've seen that kind of work being done.
Yeah.
Right. I've never seen, like I've seen, like you say, I've seen a producer talk to like a guitar player and crafting the part, but I've never seen in my, in real life, that kind of like a choice-based mechanism where you're choosing if you like this or not, and then you're iterating over choices.
Yeah. I mean, I think that a good way to look at it is looking at it as producing, not musical producing, but producing a product. And this guy is in charge of producing that product. And the guy who's producing the product is not gonna be able to do everything if we're in a factory. Is the guy who's operating everything. That's the same thing. I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, when to this extent, right? I mean, obviously, when you work with with an orchestra, you have to know what you want to hear. Although I have seen a video like years ago of Justin Bieber just singing parts to the strings section, and then they pick it up and they harmonize it, and everyone, oh my God, he's a genius. I mean, so he's not a genius, but he found his way to do that because he has the money and the resources to have an orchestra doing the lines that he sings, which is fine. It's the same thing basically.
Yeah, I would say it's a higher level of control, right? Like even if
it's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum because if you know, let's call it the general, like if you know the melodies of the orchestra is singing, and you might not know like exactly how to spread it out to 4 string instruments or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think like if I had been the arranger and I would have given that task, I still would feel like the artist has done a lot.
Okay, so
Right?
that's why I'm saying it's a spectrum, because I'm sure that if you ask, I don't know, Stravinsky, if that counts as writing for an orchestra, I'm pretty sure he'll be pissed.
There's a story. I don't know if it's an urban legend or not, right? But so I may be now just retelling something that somebody else told me, and maybe it's a lie, and it's been because there's a lot of like classical music stories that are basically false.
Yeah,
they're basically like urban legends, urban myth. But what happened was the story was that Gershwin wanted to go study with Stravinsky, and the story goes, legend goes, is that he knocks on his door, and Stravinsky doesn't open. Like I don't want to open. I'm not. And Gershwin like kind of shouts at him from from outside the door, "Hey, I want to take a lesson. I want to study music." And he's like, "I'm not taking students. Like I don't need that. I have enough work to do." And then Gershwin says, "I wrote a pop song that was successful." And he's like, "What?" He opens the door and says, "Well, you can teach me something."
I hope it's true.
And
That's great.
And apparently he did teach Gershwin a few things about orchestral writing or something. But I find it to be hilarious where because some of these people existed, like Stravinsky. They existed when other kinds of music became a thing, and some of them actually interacted with that music. Like if you look at Bartok with his like folk music stuff, like some of them actually thought that it's actually really interesting to interact with existing, let's call it lesser forms of music than their high art music. So like I don't know about Stravinsky necessarily, but I would guess that some of these people might be interested in saying, well, there's now a pop singer and they sing these lines, and then a professional comes in to fill in the blanks, but there's still some connection there. Like when you see Metallica, S&M, and some of the stuff that the orchestra is doing is basically take the guitars and just double them or something.
Yeah, but also the like this is a really good good example, because for me the songs in S&M, like the arranger, I don't remember if the conductor did that. That's the conductor. He did the arrangements.
I'm not sure if it was the conductor, but he was the arranger.
Okay, yeah. So
he's the guy who also did The Wall, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. So for me,
am I wrong about this?
These are completely different songs and way better. So the orchestration, they added a layer for Metallica songs, which in my opinion are a part of the song. So that's like a really good example for this. It's not like just like, yeah, okay, so we're just gonna play like long notes over 4 bars and play pads. He actually added stuff to the music.
I'm just double checking, but yes. So Michael Kamen was the guy who did the arrangement. I don't know if he was a conductor, but he might have been the conductor.
Remember.
I think he was the conductor, and he's the same guy who did the orchestral arrangements on The Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he did the trial and all these the orchestral parts on The Wall. Yeah, that was him. So he there's and he worked with a few different artists, and I think he is the guy. So he, like you're saying, it's almost like he's a co-composer.
Yeah,
of those tracks, right? Even though those tracks were composed and released before for the
Yeah,
most part.
exactly. But that adds so much textures and layers and information to the song that I cannot go back and listen to the original. I'll miss the new information.
At least I feel that way. I feel like S&M is one of the greatest rock recordings of all
Yeah,
time.
it's
It's like,
great, and I think the orchestra and the conductor needs to get a Grammy just for being able to play with Lars, because honestly, keeping time as an orchestra is a hard job as is, but this on top of that,
come on,
god damn.
Lars wasn't even that bad back then. He was
Okay,
okay.
so go back and listen to this, because I went back and listened to this like last year or something like that, and I heard there's some seriously some hard to digest feels coming from the drums area. Honestly, a Grammy each one of the orchestra members.
Maybe they needed like an AI metronome.
Definitely that adapts in real
Adapt.
life.
It's unbelievable. Well, man, thank you so much for doing this. I think this is pretty awesome. Like, I think we should probably do another one where we just talk about Lars fills, and just analyze each of the
How
drum
much
fills.
time do you have? Because it's gonna be a retreat, a weekly retreat.
Weekly treat. I don't know. I think Lars is one of the best drummers of all time. I'm sorry. I know he's had his
Okay.
troubles.
I mean, he's still having them, but yeah. I mean, I'm not taking the contribution he had, but I am seeing like clips from this tour, and I mean, honestly, the person I feel most remorse towards is Robert Trujillo, the bass player. I mean, as much as you can feel bad for a millionaire,
Right.
but because I've been hearing him since Infectious Grooves, and he was playing super tight and super amazing and super funky, and now he needs to play with like a mediocre. I'm sorry for trashing, but I mean, it is true. Playing with a mediocre drummer, it's a conundrum. You get as much money as you're ever gonna need, but you only gonna play with a bad drummer for the rest of your life. It's a conundrum.
Well, maybe we can train the Lars Ulrich AI and just remove that part, right?
I don't. I think that's for this. You need some intelligence to begin with to create an AI.
Oh my god, that's amazing. This is gonna be full. This is gonna be full of amazing quotes. I'm gonna reuse. In this,
You can use that for the thumbnail.
thumbnail, exactly. All right.
AI more like OS, organic stupidity. That's my thing though.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Lior, thank you so much. This was awesome. I'm really
Been
glad
a
we could do this.
pleasure. Yes.
All right, and while you're there, check out "Braving Through" by Guy Mazig and Lior Ozeri on Spotify or
Link
YouTube.
here, or here, or here.
Links.
It's a depth link. It's
depth
it's
link.
in the back there. Yeah.
Yes, it's a great
It's a
piece
new
that we worked on. You can also check out "Deal with It." That's a track that I wrote like a bit over 10 years ago, which Lior played on. Yeah, check out some cool stuff, and see you all soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.